I want to talk a little bit. We were talking about the third commandment there, but I'd like to talk about the fifth commandment. Paul quotes it in Ephesians and says this is the first commandment with a promise that your life may go well with you. Could you talk a little bit about what you've seen obedience to the fifth commandment do in the lives of people in terms of the blessing of their life?
Well, in a couple of different ways. First, there's a little bit of change in the commandment. Says you should live long in the land, and in Ephesians it says you shall live long on the earth. Right? So the promise is
expanded.
Right. It starts with people who obey their parents live longer.
They stay out of the street when they're two.
That's right. Do not play in the traffic. Okay. They live longer. And it goes on into things like drugs and alcohol and things like that. Children who obey their parents end up living longer.
Right. That's just a common sense.
That's a common sense and statistically can be established. But there's the other aspect of well, let me say it this way. People say, I've got to obey my father. He's wrong. Okay. Right. Well, unless he's commanding you to do something immoral or unethical, you obey your father.
Right.
And then when it comes to helping him with the gospel, he's more likely to respond to it.
If he's not the Christian and you...
Yeah, if he's not the Christian and you are. If you're submissive to him, he's more likely to be responsive to your Christianity. If you're not submissive, he goes, why would I want to be like him?
Right. One of the things, maybe you can comment on this, one of the things I've seen over the years is when people get involved in a church, an evangelical church that's vibrant and active and a lot going on, and let's say a kid is converted at college and he's into this Jesus thing. His folks back home oftentimes are panicked or worried that he's joined a cult.
Right.
But cults, one of the first things a cult does is try to sever a child
the relationship,
sever the relationship and have you give your allegiance to the cult leaders. And if a vibrant evangelical church is teaching their young people that catching on fire for Jesus means reestablishing or reaching out to or honoring your parents in ways you never have done before, that's the first and most vigorous refutation of the cult worry that there can be.
Sure.
Right?
And people see the difference and they want to be like their children.
Right. Have you, when you see, have you seen a lot of Christian young people leading their parents to Christ?
I've seen it both ways.
Okay.
I just heard one negatively. A man I've known for many, I haven't seen him for a long time, but he's in a very fundamentalist church, and he wrote a letter to his mother, who's in her 85th year, just giving the gospel to her. But his brother and sisters recognize that he's never done a kind thing for his mother.
Right.
And they then it looks like a judgmental letter. Well, the letter looked perfectly good to me, but the background of his character,
right, spoke louder than the letter.
It spoke louder than that. So it just meant that the message didn't mean anything.
Okay.
But I've seen the other. Just also a lot when people have gone home and loving my own family. I was converted in October, went home at Christmas, got everybody in the living room and laid it on them.
Better than TV, right?
Well, I had to back off for 3 years.
After that.
And but when I graduated, they all received Christ because they'd seen the difference in between.
Right.
But the message itself.
Okay. Thank you.